Have you ever pondered about the journey of Nigeria's economic development? Where did it all begin? Well, let's take a step back to the late 1950s, a time that marked a significant turning point for Nigeria's economy. The discovery of oil. This black gold, as it is often referred to, would soon become the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy. As we moved into the 1970s, Nigeria experienced an oil boom. The country's oil production skyrocketed and Nigeria quickly became a leading oil exporter. This oil boom transformed Nigeria's economy, propelling it to become the largest in Africa. Nigeria, a nation once reliant on agriculture, was now an oil-dependent economy. The oil sector accounted for over 90% of the country's export revenues and more than 70% of its total revenues. It was like striking gold, or in this case, striking oil. But with great wealth comes great responsibility. And Nigeria's oil dependence was not without its challenges. While the oil sector was booming, other sectors, such as agriculture and manufacturing, were neglected. This made the Nigerian economy highly vulnerable to oil price fluctuations. A drop in oil prices could, and often did, lead to economic turmoil. Moreover, despite the massive revenues generated from oil, Nigeria struggled with widespread poverty and inequality. The wealth from oil did not trickle down to the average Nigerian. Corruption and mismanagement of oil revenues were rampant, leading to social unrest and economic instability. On the bright side, the oil sector provided the Nigerian government with the necessary funds to invest in infrastructure and social services. It also attracted foreign investors, boosting Nigeria's international standing. Not to forget, the oil and gas sector offered employment opportunities, contributing to job creation and economic growth. But was this oil-driven growth sustainable? Could Nigeria ride on this oil wave forever? As we delve deeper into Nigeria's economic journey, we'll uncover more about the country's attempts to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on oil. So, stay tuned as we continue to explore the economic development of Nigeria. As the saying goes, every coin has two sides, so did Nigeria's oil fortune. The economic fluctuations that came with oil price volatility were a double-edged sword for Nigeria. When the oil prices soared, the country basked in prosperity. But when they plummeted, Nigeria was left gasping for air. One of the most striking examples of this was the 1980s oil glut, a period of crude oil price collapse that sent shockwaves through the Nigerian economy. During this period, the world was awash with oil and prices dropped dramatically. For Nigeria, a nation heavily dependent on oil exports, the effects were catastrophic. The country's revenue from oil exports plummeted, leading to a severe economic downturn. The government, which had grown accustomed to the steady flow of oil dollars, found itself in a precarious position. Unable to meet its financial obligations, it had to borrow heavily, both domestically and internationally, plunging the country into a cycle of debt. This period also marked the onset of economic recessions that the country had to grapple with. Each recession was closely linked to a drop in oil prices. When oil prices fell, Nigeria's revenue decreased, which led to reduced government spending. This, in turn, led to a slowdown in economic activities, culminating in a recession. Over the years, Nigeria has experienced several recessions. Each time, the oil prices took a nosedive. The most recent one was in the year 2016 when the global oil prices fell sharply, pushing the Nigerian economy into a recession. It was a stark reminder of the country's vulnerability to oil price shocks and the need for economic diversification. The story of Nigeria's economic fluctuations and recessions paints a clear picture of an economy that has tied its fate to the unpredictable swings of the oil market. The ups and downs of oil prices have dictated the rhythm of Nigeria's economic dance, leading to periods of growth and prosperity, but also to recessions and economic hardship. Clearly, relying solely on oil was a risky business. Something had to change. So, what happens when a country realizes its main source of income is not reliable? It diversifies. Nigeria, understanding the fickleness of oil as its economic backbone, began a transition towards economic diversification. A central player in this process is agriculture, a sector rooted deeply in Nigeria's history and culture. The government, recognizing the potential of agriculture, launched several initiatives to boost its production and exports. For instance, the Agricultural Transformation Agenda implemented in 2012 aimed to enhance food security and create more employment opportunities. It did this by focusing on crops where Nigeria had a comparative advantage, such as cassava, rice, and sorghum. Furthermore, the government made a considerable investment in agricultural research and development. This investment led to the introduction of improved seed varieties and better farming techniques which significantly increased yields. The country also witnessed a rise in agri-tech startups, which brought in modern technology to streamline farming practices. These startups provide services like digital marketplaces for produce, farm management software, and even drone technology for crop surveillance. To bolster exports, the government improved the quality of agricultural products. To meet international standards, they established quality control laboratories and provided training to farmers on post-harvest handling practices. These efforts bore fruit. Agricultural exports, which had been a mere fraction of Nigeria's total exports, began to grow. In 2017, they accounted for almost a quarter of the country's total exports. Yet the success of the agricultural sector was not without challenges. Infrastructural deficiencies such as poor road networks and inadequate storage facilities hindered the transport of produce and led to post-harvest losses. Additionally, farmers faced issues like unpredictable weather patterns and pest infestations, which threatened their yields. Despite these hurdles, the agricultural revolution in Nigeria has been a significant stride towards economic diversification. It has redefined the country's economic landscape, created employment opportunities, and enhanced food security. But agriculture alone could not carry the weight of Nigeria's economy. Other sectors had to step up. Enter the non-oil sectors, the new heroes of Nigeria's economy. As the country began to reel from the oil price shocks, there was a rise of new economic titans that helped keep the economy afloat. These were the non-oil sectors, including telecommunications, manufacturing, and services. Telecommunications in particular has seen a meteoric rise. With the advent of mobile technology and the internet, Nigeria has become one of the fastest-growing telecom markets in Africa. This sector has not only provided millions of jobs but also contributed significantly to the country's GDP. In addition to telecommunications, the manufacturing sector has also been on the rise. Despite challenges such as inadequate infrastructure and power supply, manufacturing has managed to carve out a significant piece of the economic pie. This is largely due to the resilience and innovation of Nigerian entrepreneurs who have managed to thrive in the face of adversity. The services sector, which includes everything from banking to retail, has also seen significant growth. This sector has been spurred on by a growing middle class with increased purchasing power. The rise of digital platforms has also played a crucial role, enabling businesses to reach a wider customer base and offer a wider range of services. To stimulate growth in these sectors, the Nigerian government launched the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, or ERGP. This plan targets critical sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and services, with a focus on boosting productivity, creating jobs, and driving sustainable growth. The ERGP also aims to improve the business environment, enhance social inclusion, and build a resilient economy that can withstand external shocks. These efforts have begun to pay off, with the non-oil sectors now contributing over 60% of Nigeria's GDP. And so, Nigeria's economy began to change, to evolve. The oil sector, while still important, is no longer the only game in town. The rise of the non-oil sectors has brought about a more diversified and resilient economy, paving the way for a brighter and more prosperous future for Nigeria. So, where is Nigeria's economy today? Is it all rosy and smooth sailing? Well, the answer is a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, Nigeria's economy has made significant strides in diversification. The non-oil sector, particularly agriculture, has emerged as a promising engine of growth. The rise of industries like telecommunications, manufacturing, and services is a testament to the progress made in reducing the economy's reliance on oil. The government too is making concerted efforts to foster a more diversified and resilient economy. From implementing policies that promote local industries to investing in infrastructure and human capital, Nigeria is on a mission to build a more sustainable and inclusive economy. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Despite the progress, Nigeria's economy still faces significant hurdles. Unemployment remains stubbornly high, particularly among the youth. About 1 in 3 young Nigerians are jobless, a statistic that is both alarming and heart-wrenching. Poverty too is a pressing issue. Despite being Africa's largest economy, many Nigerians still live in poverty. The stark contrast between the skyscrapers of Lagos and the rural villages is a sobering reminder of the inequality that persists in the country. Let's not forget about the economic shocks either. From oil price crashes to global pandemics, Nigeria's economy has had to weather a storm of challenges. Each shock tests the economy's resilience and highlights the need for a diversified and robust economic base. Indeed, the journey of Nigeria's economic development is a tale of ups and downs, of resilience and adaptability. As we look to the future, the challenges are significant, but so are the opportunities. The road ahead is certainly not smooth, but with the right policies and a commitment to inclusive growth, Nigeria has the potential to turn the page and write a new chapter in its economic story. In the end, Nigeria's economic journey is not just about numbers and policies. It's about the Nigerian people, their dreams, their struggles, and their hopes for a better future. And that, dear listeners, is a story worth telling.